Hello and a very warm welcome to another edition of the program CAC Weekly, a weekly program that keeps you abreast of the activities and achievements of the Corporate Affairs Commission. My name is Amina Jibril. Our focus today is the MSME Survival Fund and the 250,000 free business name registration across the country. We'll be back after this break. Stay with us. Welcome back. In order to cushion the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic, the federal government came up in October this year with a 75 billion naira national MSME Survival Fund and the Guaranteed Offtake Stimulus Scheme under the Economic Sustainability Plan. Domiciled in the Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, the scheme, which is in two categories, is to sustain 300,000 jobs in 10,000 MSMEs by guaranteeing offtake of priority products, while the second category is to sustain at least 500,000 jobs in 50 SMEs. The Honorable Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Ambassador Mariam Katagum, gives an update on the number of beneficiaries per state, amount disbursed so far, as well as some challenges.
My briefing is to present facts and figures on the implementation of the scheme. Furthermore, I will present activities and programs that will lead to the takeoff of other components of the scheme. The three components that haven't taken off so far are the transport grant, the general MSMEs grant, and the guaranteed offtake scheme. Gentlemen, you may wish to note since our last briefing that the application portal was migrated from www.survivalfundapplication.com to www.survivalfund.gov.ng. This was in a bid to ensure that the process of enlisting prospective beneficiaries was smooth and in compliance with government regulations. The white list of beneficiaries fully verified for disbursement or payments to the approved block of beneficiaries has also commenced, and disbursements have been approved for a total of 16,253 MSME businesses, accounting for a total of 101,567 individual beneficiaries. The sum of 30,000 naira was paid to each of 94,696 employees or individual beneficiaries, while the sum of 50,000 naira was paid to another 6,871 employees or individual beneficiaries. So far, we've been able to benefit 2.6% of those with special needs, while we've been able to attract 43% of female-owned enterprises for disbursement. So you can see that we still were about 3% short of meeting our target for the females, and we're working hard on seeing how we can balance up these figures. The disbursements for the MSME payroll support commenced last week, Wednesday, and it is ongoing presently across the country. However, due to the inability of some states to meet their targets, the portal is likely to be reopened to accommodate some specific states. You remember when we had the first briefing, we had certain numbers across all the states except Lagos, Kano, and Abia that has slightly different figures. Now, looking at the enrollment rates and those that have actually uploaded all their documentation, we discovered some states are not likely to meet their targets. So we're looking at two options, either reopening the website for those states or seeing if they're just minor documentation that hasn't been completed to see how we can make up the figures for those states. Because you remember, we have a sort of formula that gives all the states specific numbers. So other milestones achieved under the payroll support track is the verification for payment. As I mentioned, 101,567 beneficiaries. These have been paid, and there's a lot of feedback coming from the states. And so far for Lagos State, we're able to pay 25,000. Kano had 17,000. Abia 16,000. And you have a total of 13,000 for every other state. For the artisan track scheme, which is being implemented in 3 streams. You remember we told you we're taking the first 12 states and another 12, and then the last 12 plus the FCT. For this track, the first stream commenced on 1st October, while payments to beneficiaries in the stream has been approved, and consequently, 29,000 beneficiaries, these are the artisans, have been approved for payment across the following states: the FCT, Lagos, Ondo, Kaduna, Borno, Kano, Bauchi, Anambra, Abia, Plateau, and Delta. And in terms of percentages, I think for the artisans, we have reached our percentages of getting the 45%. And I think in some states, the female artisans slightly outnumbered the male artisans. However, you know that with the transport segment, we're anticipating that we're going to get a predominance of the male beneficiaries within the transport sector. For Stream 2, while disbursement to beneficiaries under the first stream was ongoing, enumeration of artisans in Stream 2 commenced on the 26th of October and concluded on 11th of November. Beneficiaries under this stream have been fully verified and will start receiving payments from today. This was part of the assignment we're doing, which led to the slight delay in the commencement of this press briefing. So for Stream 2, the states include so the states for Stream 2 include Taraba, Adamawa, Bayelsa, Edo, Ogun, Ekiti, Katsina, Kebbi, Kogi, Kwara, Enugu, and Ebonyi. Now, enumeration of artisans under the third stream will commence on Monday, the 30th of November. And Stream 3 states comprise the following: Akwa Ibom, Cross River, Zamfara, Yobe, Sokoto, Nasarawa, Niger, Imo, Oyo, Oshun, Jigawa, Gombe, and Benue states. Now, coming to the formalization support scheme, which is being undertaken by the CAC. You remember this is a component that has that's targeting 250,000 new businesses. This commenced on the 26th of October, and the CAC has targeted the first batch of 100,000 beneficiaries. So we're waiting on their actual report to see how far they've gone, but they're doing this across the country. Once they hit the target of 100,000 beneficiaries, they'll go on to the second tranche of 100,000 and then the next 50,000. Now, it is also important to note that the selection of beneficiaries for all the schemes under the Survival Fund are treated on first-come, first-served basis and across the states. So we commence enumeration of the artisan scheme for Stream 3, as I mentioned, on the 13th of November, and other tracks have been approved to commence as follows. So for the transportation track, we're going to kick off this on the 30th of November, and we're going to target all states at the same time. It's not going to be in streams, because for the transportation sector, we're just going to deal with long-distance drivers, taxis, keke napep, and so on. It's all transport sector. So we'll just take them all at once. Gentlemen of the press, let me, to conclude, reiterate the commitment of the federal government to the full implementation of the scheme. I also want to commend the unflinching support and dedication of all the members of STERCO and all the subcommittees of the steering committee. And to you, gentlemen of the press, we cannot thank you enough for your continued coverage of the activities of the execution of these schemes.
Similarly, the Special Assistant to President Muhammadu Buhari on Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, Tola Johnson, confirms the beneficiaries captured, authenticity of their database, and acceptability of the scheme among Nigerians.
The reason why it has taken us this long to even make the first set of payments with regards to payroll was to ensure that we have the right set of people. It is A that applied, and it is A that gets the funding. So we at some point had a glitch, and we went back to ensure that this is what is in place. Those that applied, those that were verified, those that meet the requirements are those that were disbursed to. And we are very sure that this is what is being done. The story so far it's been very encouraging, highly encouraging. A lot of people are shocked that they're able to apply for a government scheme without knowing anybody and then receive the money. So it's been very encouraging, and we believe that this is the way to go. Set up a system that works, leave it for the people that you set it up for, and let the system just deal with them and disburse to them as at when due.
To further support businesses, President Muhammadu Buhari approved free business registration with the Corporate Affairs Commission for 250,000 businesses across the country. Under the arrangement, Lagos will have 9,084, Abia will have 7,906, Kano will have 8,406, while any other state will have 6,606 beneficiaries. The Registrar General and CEO of the Corporate Affairs Commission, Alhaji Garba Abubakar, brings us up to speed on the intervention.
Considerable work has been done. When we started, there were challenges accessing these aggregators. So we decided to simplify the process by uploading the form, the application form on our website, and giving the applicants the option to complete these forms and send to the email addresses of the aggregator. So they no longer have to meet the aggregator. They don't have to even call the aggregator. So some of the states, from the information we are receiving, some of our staff have gone around to go and confirm the state of registration. Some of the states have even collected all the forms. They are doing the entry. And the good thing about this is the certificate is not even going to be physically collected. We've been sending, for those that have been approved, we have been sending electronic certificates to the aggregators. So all the aggregator will do is to forward that electronic copy to the email address of the applicant. He doesn't even need to have physical contact with this applicant. Although it's supposed to run for 3 months, for states that have not exhausted their number, we'll roll it over until that number is exhausted. Some states have made the process complicated because they try to divide the number among the various local governments. But this is actually inconsistent with the guidelines, because this is strictly for those that need it. If you distribute it to local governments, if you don't have enough people in those local governments, who is going to apply? That are going to apply, then what happens? So the guidelines issued by the Interministerial Committee strictly says it's on the basis of first come, first serve. And you don't have to be an indigenous of the state to benefit. If you are a resident in that state, regardless of your state of origin, you can benefit. But some states have made it exclusive to their indigents. This is inconsistent with the guidelines, and we have made it known to them. The reports we are going to receive from some of our officers that have gone around will now inform our next line of action. For those that have not done any significant number, we may be forced to take over and transfer the responsibility to some of our offices. We didn't want to be inundated with the number, bearing in mind that the aggregators were engaged to do the data entry and scanning on behalf of these applicants, so as to reduce the burden on these applicants, because the government has paid for this registration. But if somebody is to apply, you have to do the entry, you have to scan these documents. So the cost of the scanning will be a burden to some of the applicants, because they may not even have the money to do that. That was why the government said, okay, use aggregators in every state. It's the responsibility of the aggregator to collect the information, do the entry, scan the documents. He will have an interface. All the aggregators have an interface with the CAC, a platform through which they can make submission for their states.
The business environment is fast changing for the better. The chairman, CAC Board, Mr. Ademola Seriki, speaks to CAC Weekly on the contributions of the board in the ongoing reform initiatives, challenges, and the Commission's determination to transform to a world-class companies registry.
Mr. Ademola Seriki, Chairman, Corporate Affairs Commission Board, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you for inviting me.
I do know that you're very excited with the latest transformation in the Commission, but tell us how much of a contribution the board has injected so far so good in terms of policies.
Well, I met a board that was a bit semi-functional, and I joined my other colleagues January 7th when I was appointed by the President Muhammadu Buhari. That was at the end of the year, January 7th, and we went straight into actions, in particular to unveil a lot of visions and missions. I came on board with the CEO of the Registrar General, Malam Abubakar, and really we've had huge cordiality in implementing a lot of visions around Corporate Affairs Commission. I'm very proud of the board members for their cooperation. I'm very proud of what we're able to achieve within a very short period of, we're talking about just 10, 11 months. And we've been able to unveil those visions. One major part of it was the achievement of realization of CAMA, the CAMA 2020. Quite right, it didn't go well with some people, but I know what the majority of Nigerians, the ease of doing business, the dissemination of information and all that have been put in place, and that we have achieved greatly. The board also contributed immensely in having our good standing certificate to be issued, and that is awaiting Federal Executive Council for approval. If that is obtained, that's going to be huge, because we realize that a lot of people, when they open up business and they want to apply for jobs through Procurement Act, all they ask for them is certificate of incorporation, not how well they have been in good standing with CAC. In essence, you must file your annual returns. Your status must be seen to be positive and update. And when you have that, you have claim bill. That claim bill will necessitate you to do a lot of businesses, and that's part of the vision we have brought in. And furthermore, we are also undergoing this issue of notification alerts. We have a lot of messy affairs that sends a lot of people into the state of Rubicon, whereby people will have to come behind to change information, husband and wife, siblings, companies. They come around surreptitiously to change information that they have in records. For example, Mr. A and Mr. B formed partnership of businesses, and they may have 2 or 3 companies together, even if there's one, and they fall out for some reasons or another. Mr. A will come behind to come and change the ownership or the percentage of interest. So, effectively, from the time we are implementing this, we are having a situation whereby notification will be made available to all the parties concerned, so you know if anything goes wrong in your file. We have many messy cases of that nature, and board has been able to make a resolution around this, that it's our time for Nigerians to wake up to avert such fraud in the system. And of course, the issue of asylum is being an incessant problem, and we are being moderate about it. Still, we're aggressive. And that aggression has come in place in ensuring that we have a practical infrastructure in place for the servers, of course, for the software solution as well, as a backup. So as we're achieving this, certainly we're not looking behind to engage the public, to have a very friendly business of business.
Okay, if you look at the ongoing reforms from 1 to 10, which one stands out for you as the chairman of the board?
the one that I consider the biggest one is the issue of good standing certificate, because it will create a transparency, it will create probity in the system, and of course it will generate revenue for CAC and for government vis-a-vis. You realize that more than half of companies in Nigeria don't pay annual returns. They just registered January 1st, 2020, and that's it. They look back again. They don't know that that name is secured for them lifetime, and nobody says anything. So with that good standing certificate, and of course with the issue of our CAMA, the new CAMA law, complementing each other, you have a situation whereby people will now have to have thoroughness of mind to engage CAC, for CAC to be the stopper of all things that can become albatross in developing our business achievements.
Okay. Where does the board wants to see the commission in the next 2-3 years?
Well,
before the end of your tenure, I don't understand. It's about 4 years.
Yes, 4 years.
So, where do you want to see the commission in the next 4 years?
Well, I want to see the commission. Given the visions I've expressed to you right now, doing that only, those three: the newcomer, the notification alert, and of course the good standing certificate, CAC will be a world class. But we can't achieve this without a strong efficacy around our infrastructure and software solution. The software solution must be seen to be a world class, and we are making serious efforts. I want to see us being comparable to that of our UK Business House Registry or that of the United States. It's very, it's easy to say international best practice every time, but how well are you following your goals? We need to really follow our goals to ensure of its implementations, not about just saying it. So I'm not here to just be particular about what we say, because sometimes people say talk is cheap. They're really talking and effectively following your talk, the conversation, by giving action to it is more important. It's more germane to me than anything. I want to see a commission in the next 4 years that will be world class. I want to see a commission that will have to perform beyond its potential. The potency of CAC is incredible, and people must really respect this regulatory agency. It's a strong commission. Even by law, every agency is a child of CAC. Even other regulators of government, CBN, NCC, FEMA, all of them have incorporations. So they are all babies of CAC. CAC is the father of all companies as a business entity. And we have been, and really, I realize that people just bear names in a grandstanding manner. I'm not here for grandstanding. I'm here for how we can effectively look back tomorrow and say, oh yeah, we have done well, and give each other kudos. I must tell you also that the government, the minister in particular, the Minister of State, and of course the presidency, have all joined together to give CAC its deserved independence in mental attitude. And that's what CAC is enjoying really.
Finally, what are the biggest challenges for you?
The biggest challenge we have is slowness. Slowness in the system. System is slow.
When you say system, what do you
mean?
mean?
System is low. For example, we've been talking about a lot of things, like this vision I spoke to you about now. It's been on since February, March, and making it to realize or to become realistic is what I'm particular about. That's kind of the things I'm talking about slowness. It's when people sometimes they unintentionally procrastinate. It is by their nature. I am not that kind of person. I'm fanatic about everything I do. So I have a strong belief about fanaticism and passion. And that ideals, that philosophy, I approach to this seat. And this is where I want my other colleagues in every area, in every sector, to develop, to be fanatical about everything they undertake.
Mr. Demola Sariki, Chairman, Corporate Affairs Commission Board. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.
And that is the size of our package for this week. We do hope you enjoyed watching. For comments and inquiries, please take advantage of our social media handles and helplines. On Twitter, it is at CAC Nigeria 1. On Instagram and Facebook, it is Corporate Affairs Commission. Our email is cservice@cac.gov.ng. Our website is cac.gov.ng. And our helplines are 081 822 99016, 081 822 98971, 090 87 598, 090 874 01599, and 090 874 01600. Do join us next week for another interesting edition of the program. Same time, same station. From me, Amina Jibril, and the whole team here, it is bye for now.